Hi children, in our previous class we already learnt about cell. In part 1, in first video we already observed and discussed about cell. In that class we observed cell structure of plant and as well as animal. For observing plant cell we are using onion peel, and to observe animal cell we are observing our scrape of our cheek cells. So in that class we already learned about the importance of cell for the all organisms, and also we learned about the functions of cell. So in that class we already noticed some important points of a cell. The three major and important parts of a cell are cell wall, cytoplasm and nucleus. The three major important parts of a cell are cell wall, cytoplasm and nucleus. In this class we are going to learn about the diversity in cells. Diversity means different cells. We know that our world is a beautiful nature. In the nature we have millions of organisms, different kinds of organisms we have. All the organisms are made up of trillions of cells. All the bodies of organisms are made up of trillions of cells. In the bodies of organism, having different cells, and they have different sizes too. But we all are think that the big animal or huge animals have a large smells. A small animals have a small cells, but it is absolutely wrong. The size of an animal is depends upon the number of cells, but not on the size of cell. For example, elephant. We know that elephant is a very huge animal, big animal, but the elephants too contains the same sizes of cells, but elephant not having a big cells. So elephant having the body of an elephant is made up of trillions of cells. Almost 700 trillions of cells contains in a elephant body. So that's why I have to say that the size of an animal is depends upon the number of cells, but not on the size of cell. Okay, and let us see, we have two types of animals in the nature. We have two types of, they are unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular organisms. So what is unicellular organism? What is an organism of unicellular? Here uni means single. Uni means single. So according to this meaning, we know that single celled organisms are called unicellular organisms. Single celled. For example, amoeba. Amoeba contains a single celled and paramecium. And also Chlamydomonas. So this amoeba, paramecium and Chlamydomonas, bodies of an organism, single celled organisms contains a single celled. The single cell is capable to perform all the life activities in their unicellular organisms. Once again I am going to repeat that. Unicellular organisms means single celled organisms. Single, they have only one cell. In that animals, one cell can capable to perform all the life activities. For example, to obtaining food, in respiration, in excretion, in reproduction. These all life activities performed by one cell. So that is why I have to say that unicellular organisms means single celled organisms. So single celled organisms are, for example, amoeba, paramecium and chlamydomonas are single celled organisms. Now we are going to learn about multicellular organisms. So what are multicellular organisms? Multicellular organisms, an organisms which are contains more than one cell, they are called multicellular organisms. Except unicellular organisms, remaining all the organisms are we can call as multicellular organisms. The multicellular organisms, the bodies of a multicellular organisms are made up of a number of cells, different number in different organisms. So let us learn about what type of cells the multicellular organisms contains. Okay, we are going to learn about now. The first cell is smooth muscle cell. Smooth muscle cell. What is a smooth muscle cell and what is the function of it and where does it located in our body? The smooth muscle cells, our body in different parts is situated these smooth muscle cells. In intestine, in urinary bladder and the uterus of female and as well as in our stomach. These parts, especially these parts, our intestine and stomach and urinary bladder and also the female organ uterus contains this smooth muscle cells. What is the use of this smooth muscle cell? This helps to move the food through the digestive tract. This smooth muscle cell helps to push the food through the digestive tract and as well as in urinary bladder also. In urinary bladder also, these smooth muscle cells helps to push out the urine to out and as well as in uterus. How this smooth muscle cell is helps to the woman in uterus. So at the time of delivery period, the females are giving birth to young ones. So it is called a delivery time. So at the time of delivery period, these smooth muscle cells helps to push the baby towards the uterus. So this is the these are the helps of smooth muscle cells. So these smooth muscle cells perform these activities in our body. And also striped muscle cell. So we can call striped muscle cell as striated muscle cell also. So same, these cells are highly organized tissues in our body. These striated muscle cells are highly organized tissues. The primary function is, what is the primary function of these striated muscle cells? Convert the chemical energy or into physical energy. We take food, okay, so that food is converted into chemical energy and then converted into physical. To perform our works, to do our works, these striped muscle cells are converted chemical energy into physical work. And also one more, the main important function of the striped muscle cells are to pump blood throughout the body. These striated muscle cells helps to us to pump the blood throughout the body. Okay. This striped muscle cells or striated muscle cells is located at walls of our heart. Walls of our heart. We can observe these cells at the walls of our heart. Now, bone cell. What is the function of it? Bone cells are located at the marrow of the bone or at the middle of the bone, and these bone cells are controlled the activities of the bone. These bone cells are controlled the activities of the bone and give support to the bone. And also, if the bone will damage for any accidentally, or if a bone is damaged, at the time the bone cells are produced calcium. The bone cells are produced calcium to repair bones. So this is the primary function of the bone cell. The bone, once again I am going to repeat, bone cells are situated, attached to the bone, and also it gives support and strength to the bones, and they perform the life activities of the bone. If any bone will damage for any accidents, these bone cells are producing calcium to repair the bones. And now nerve cell. We know that nerve cell is the master cell of our body, primary cell of our body, because, and also it is the largest cell, largest cell in all organisms. The nerve cell is the largest cell in the humans and as well as and other organisms also. It is situated at from the brain to spinal cord. The nerve cell is situated from brain to spinal cord. And what is the function of a nerve cell? Transferring message, transferring information to all the other tissues of our body. The primary function of nerve cell is, transfer the message or information to the all the other parts of our body. It is the basic primary function of nerve cell. Okay, it is the largest cell in humans and as well as in animals also. Okay, so now we are going to learn about blood cells. In our body, the blood contains two types of cells. They are RBC and WBC. RBC and WBC. So RBC means red blood cells. The full form of RBC, red blood cells, and the full form of WBC, white blood cells. The another name of red blood cells, erythrocytes. We can call the red blood cells as erythrocytes. What is the function of an RBC? Before that, we need to know one thing. The 45% of red blood cells contains blood. The blood contains 45%. RBC. Blood contains 45% of red blood cells, and remaining 55% of plasma. 55% of plasma and only 1% of WBC. Our blood contains, so actually white blood cells only 1%. Our blood contains only 1% of white blood cells and 54% of plasma and 45% of red blood cells. So total 100%. So the blood, the formation of blood is 45% of with 45% of red blood cells and 54% of plasma and also 1% of white blood cells. So what is the function of red blood cells? What is the function of red blood cells? So red blood cells transforming oxygen, red blood cells transforming oxygen from lungs to all the other parts of our body. So red blood cells transforming oxygen from the lungs to all other tissues of our body. It is the function of red blood cells. We can call red blood cells as erythrocytes. Our blood contains 45% of red blood cells. Now let us learn about white blood cells. Here white blood cells categorized into two. If we categorized white blood cells into two, they are granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes and agranulocytes. So what are agranulocytes and what are granulocytes? Granulocytes. These granulocytes contains granuloplasm, granular cytoplasm. So that's why we can call as this cells as granulocytes. Granular cytoplasm. This cells contains granular cytoplasm. So that is why we can call granulocytes. These cells do not contains granulocytes, granulocytoplasm. So that's why we can call these cells as agranulocytes. Agranulocytes. So there are again 5 granulocytes. There are three cells. They are basophils, neutrophils and eosinophils. So these are granules. So that's why this contains granules. That's why we can call it as granulocytes. So do not having any granules in the cytoplasm. So that's why agranulocytes. So okay, let us see. They are categorized into two, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes again 3 types of cells: basophils, neutrophils, eosinophils. Agranulocytes are 2. They are monocytes and lymphocytes. Let us see what is the function of white blood cells. White blood cells. It is very important to our body. White blood cells are very important to our body because white blood cells are fight against with disease causing microorganisms. Those organisms are caused to infecting diseases to us like bacteria, virus, cancer cells and some other microarthropods. So they are micro disease causing organisms. These disease causing organisms are killed by the WBC, white blood cells. At any time these disease causing microorganisms are entered into our body, immediately these granulocytes and agranulocytes are fight against with the microorganisms. For example, malaria causing microorganism Plasmodium is entered into our body, immediately they are responding and fight against with them and they killed it. So it is very, very important to us. So that's why the doctors are always testing the percentage of WBC. If any time, if we are visit hospital with any type of sickness, they are immediately tested the percentage of WBC and platelets. So it is a antibody system. They are producing antibodies. So WBC, white blood cells are producing antibodies. Those who are fight against with the micro disease causing organisms. So that is the main function of WBC. Okay. So once again I am going to repeat that the cell, all the organisms are made up of cells. These are I am going to repeat the important points only. All the organisms in the nature is made up of cells. A cell is performing all the life activities like excretion, respiration, digestion and reproduction. These life activities are performed by the cells. So cell contains 3 parts: cell wall, cytoplasm and nucleus. Nucleus is the main part of the cell. Cells are different sizes and shapes according to their function. Cells are different sizes. The different animals contains different sizes and shapes of cells. So according to their functions. So different cells we have in our body for different functions. Okay, we have two types of blood cells, RBC and WBC. RBC we called as erythrocytes, and WBC we called as leukocytes. Leukocytes, erythrocytes and leukocytes. So we categorize the WBC into two, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes 3, they are basophils, neutrophils and eosinophils, and agranulocytes 2, monocytes and lymphocytes. So it is the uses of cells to our body. Thank you.